Hello there my friends, if this is the first time you're checking out one of my videos, well first off, hi, welcome to the channel, welcome to the YouTube channel thing and everything. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I go by XTSoulfireTX. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's just a gamer tag that I've ended up having for the longest time, so, you know, that it's just stuck now at this point. So, yeah, what's this video? What's it all about? All of that stuff? Well, today we're going to be talking about something rather interesting, and it's slightly related to one of my TikTok videos, so if you haven't ended up seeing that, do check out my TikTok channel. It's where I post most of my content. It's definitely where most of my stuff is. So, you know, easiest way to find all of my stuff there. So anyway, this video, this YouTube thing, what is it, what's going on, what we're going to be talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking about Space Marines, Warhammer 40k, Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to go into a lot of detail about this sort of stuff here, so, you know, bear with me because, yeah, I ended up making a TikTok video the other day that was talking about what would happen if a Space Marine from Warhammer 40k were to land in Dungeons and Dragons, and well, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it, and so I thought, you know what, why don't I just end up making a video where we can talk about it in a bit more detail, and we can end up getting into some really fun, gritty, nitty-gritty stuff and all of that stuff, because why? Because, well, we just love these different fandoms, situations, IPs, all of that stuff, so, you know, let's get into it and let's start having some real fun, interesting stuff to talk about. So, first off, Space Marines, Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons. What happened? So, made the video, talked about it a little bit, and lots of people ended up having a lot to say, saying on how powerful Space Marines are and all of that stuff. And then I ended up getting one comment that really just, you know, made me have to pause for a minute and say, now hang on a minute, that don't sound right. And specifically, the comment in question was one talking about how a Space Marine specifically would be a CR20 encounter. Now, please understand, I love Space Marines. I love Warhammer 40k. Believe me, I am 100% alongside Commander Dante and the Blood Angels myself personally, or I might be amongst the Legion of the Damned. Granted, my own personal favourite army is Necrons, but you know, that's neither here nor there right now. And well, I saw this and I was just thinking, it's like, CR20 is a bit much. I mean, come on, really, let's be honest here. Because in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, a CR20 encounter is an adult dragon. Yeah, I love Space Marines, but they ain't like, you know, a dragon level of danger. Yeah, they're powerful. Yes, they can take on a small village. Yes, they can probably burn it to the ground. But they ain't that powerful, okay? Especially an unnamed Space Marine. So let's end up talking about it a little bit. Because Space Marines are broken, as in comparison to my rather short frame of 5'7". Yes, I'm aware, short kings all the way, come at me. So you take my 5'7" frame, and then you compare it to a Space Marine who is standing at a whopping 7'5". All right there, big guy, how's the weather up there? Yeah, he dwarfs me, and 100% could turn me into paste.
For the glory of the Imperium.
But, at the end of the day, we're talking specifically about unnamed Space Marine, right? Unnamed, no heroic feats, no plot armor, nothing like that. They are just your bulk standard Space Marine here. And, well, when you suddenly think about it like that, they aren't as powerful as they really could be. Because let's face it, if you've ended up reading any of the Warhammer books, they get killed quite a lot by a lot of the different factions in Warhammer 40k. As in, Guardsmen can take down a Space Marine. Granted, there needs to be a lot of them, but they can. Gretchen have been capable of killing Space Marines. Granted, it's incredibly unrealistic. It's very lucky on the Gretchen's part. It literally has to be just a set domino effect of how they would manage to be able to do it, but they have done it. And at that point, when you think about it, your unnamed Space Marine, yeah, they're powerful, but they aren't going to be unstoppable. They aren't gods, guys. Like your Primarchs, yeah, CR25, CR30, entirely believable. 100% could believe that. But your unknown ranks of the uncounted numbers of Space Marines, yeah, they ain't that powerful. Like, yeah, you see where I'm going? You see where I'm going? Anyway, let's talk about the stats here because, you know, I want to keep your attention. So, let's get started. Stats. Your Space Marine is impressive, right? Like, these guys are stronger, faster, more endurable than any Olympic athlete in our world today. Because, well, they are meant to be. They are freaking scary on how powerful they can be. Because they got 2 hearts, multiple lungs, multiple organs, and yeah, they're just strong. So, stats-wise, I'm thinking probably, realistically, they probably have +3 modifiers for pretty much almost all of their stats, which is very powerful. It puts them well above any of your standard ordinary people, and very much shows off that these guys are strong. They are the best of the best, the ultimate in super soldier, until we end up throwing in custodies, or captains, or librarians. So, you know, +3 for most of them, except charisma. Now, hear me out, I get it, intimidation, that's still a +3. But persuasion, deception, talking to just ordinary bulk stand people is not your Space Marine's strong suit. It never has been and it never will be. And so, you know, I'd give them a +2. Yeah, it's still powerful, but, you know, kind of a little bit socially awkward. It happens, it happens. It's okay, big guy, it's okay, you're alright. You know, just, please don't hit me again. Anyway, let's end up then talking about some of their abilities, because yes, your Space Marine is incredibly powerful and they've got some pretty nice abilities. 100% condition immunities that I'd give your Space Marine. They're 100% immune to being frightened because they shall know no fear. Big thing there. And also I would give them the condition immunity for being exhausted, because these guys are fully well known for being able to handle just fighting for days and weeks on end. So exhaustion is practically non-existent in terms of D&D and Space Marines. It's just the way it is. I had a friend who ended up suggesting that they would have the conditioned immunity to being charmed, but here's the thing, they do fall to chaos. It does happen. So, you know, I don't want to give them that. I'd give them resistance, sure, but, you know, they can be turned. It does happen. And since these are unnamed Space Marines, you know, it's fully capable of happening. So, you know, give them the capability of having that happen to them. And the other things which I'd probably talk about, I'd give them probably 150 health, because of the simple case that it is certainly a large amount of health. It's far more than your standard person would be able to just be. So, you know, 150 makes sense, sort of works for them when you think about it. And yeah, all in all, your Space Marine, your bulk standard one, is sitting really mighty and pretty. Why? Because I put them at a CR 10, maybe 12. Like, now, I get it. Some people will turn around and be like, oh, well, what about this and what about that? But here's the thing, we're talking specifically here about an unnamed Space Marine. They don't have impressive feats. They aren't capable of taking down massive greater demons. These guys are the guys who end up getting run over by an Orc Boomdak Snaggerwagon, whatever silly name the Orcs have created for their latest vehicle. So, you know, realistically speaking here, you're trying to compare them to a world that is Dungeons and Dragons, where they fight massive, horrific monsters all of the time. So yeah, CR10 kind of makes sense. Why? Because it's a group of 4 level 10 adventurers, 4 of them, and wizards at that point can cast Fireball, Wall of Fire, Immolation, or Dominate Person. Speaking of which, check out my TikTok. I talked about Dominate Person in a video a while back from there. And yeah, it's broken. One of the most broken spells I ever knew. However, this was 5th edition, not the latest version, so I'm not currently aware of how broken it is anymore. It might have been nerfed. But yeah, so a CR10 Space Marine. Now, here's the thing, and this is why I think this fits perfectly. CR10 in the realms of D&D is very impressive. Like, you are 10 times stronger than your bulk standard villager, which when you think about it, makes a lot of sense. These guys are easily 10 times stronger, smarter, faster, more endurable than a standard villager. They can turn them to paste if they really wanted to. It's not that hard for them to do it. But at the same time, let's talk about some other creatures that are CR10, because one of them, which is a great example of how come this fits them really perfectly, is that a young gold dragon is a CR10 encounter, which I entirely believe a Space Marine here would be able to fight, defeat, think that they have managed to fight off this horrific monstrous creature, only for the adult gold dragon to come around, snap them up, and turn them into paste. Like, of course, because again, unnamed Space Marine, not named. They aren't famous, they ain't gonna be doing all of their crazy feats, and they don't have plot armor. So yeah, 100% in the head case, bunch of Space Marines over there, they're standing over the corpse of the young gold dragon, being like, haha, that fight wasn't really very difficult, and then suddenly adult gold dragon comes in and just... Sorry, I don't know what happened that. Anyway, another fun creature that is CR10 that just is chef's kiss perfect into why I believe this is a diva, as in an angel from Dungeons and Dragons, which fits so perfectly for your bulk standard Space Marine to be the Emperor's Angels. So yeah, that makes sense to me, at least. If it doesn't make sense to you, I'm sorry, but you know, this is the internet and this is my opinion. Please do write your opinions down in the comments. Again, just you know, I'm ready. I know that someone out there is going to be seeing this video and is already typing away the longest comment on how I am so wrong, and I'm prepared for it. I'm happy for it. But yeah, that's my hot take on Space Marines and what a standard unnamed Space Marine would be in Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, I know this is a niche video, but if you liked it, please give this thing a like. Please give this channel a subscribe, because I'm going to be probably making more videos like this here and there, everywhere. If you like this stuff and you want more, do check out my TikTok. It's xtsoulfiretx it's on TikTok. Please do check it out. I hope you like this thing, and if you want to see more, please just do say so, because you know, I want to keep making this stuff. I want to make some fun, crazy, wacky shenanigans videos. Also, wait, I have a Patreon. Don't go yet. Yes, I know it's a shill, but you know, we got to do what we got to do in the world of the internet today. So Patreon, if you want to check that out, same name on Patreon. I'll probably put down a link in the comment. You can also find it on my TikTok and on the YouTube channel, so you can check that out. Anyone who does, I am going to try and give you a shout out in these videos. Anyway, again, check out the Patreon. Please do end up checking it out. If you do follow, I'll make sure to get your name correct, and I will make sure to end up shouting out in a video, in the next video, so that way then you can end up getting your names written down and all of that stuff. I may try and make some Patreon exclusive stuff. I'm still relatively new to specifically Patreon, so I don't know entirely what I'm doing with that. I barely know what I'm doing on YouTube, but yeah. So again, you like this stuff, please give it a like, please give this channel a subscribe, please check me out on TikTok and check me out on Patreon. Thank you so much for checking out this rather long-winded rant about absolutely nothing and my own personal take on the internet. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon, my friends. Until the next time, bye-bye. It's xtsoulfiretx on